Hello, welcome back to some 1947 baseball with Strat-O-Matic. Today we have our first American League game on the table. The defending American League champion Boston Red Sox are in Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Athletics at Shibe Park. We are still on Saturday, April the 19th, 1947. The Red Sox come into the game at 3-1. They took 2 of 3 from the Senators in Boston and then defeated Philadelphia 5-1 in Friday afternoon action here at Philadelphia Shibe Park. The Athletics are 0-4 as they were swept by the Yankees at Yankee Stadium and then, of course, lost 5-1 to Boston yesterday. So the Red Sox ended up third this year, and the Athletics came in fifth with a winning record, which is unusual for the Athletics at this time. They're still run by Connie Mack. I believe he made it till 1950. And so there was quite a few teams who shared cities. However, there were two cities who shared stadiums, and the Athletics were one of them. Thought that would be kind of interesting to have lived next to Shibe Park or Sportsman Park in St. Louis, because both of those parks basically had baseball all summer long, because when the Athletics were not in town, the Phillies were, and when the Browns were not in town, the Cardinals were. So I thought that would have been interesting to live close to either one of those stadiums. So anyway, we have a pretty good pitching matchup with players that I had never heard of before. Going for the Athletics is Bill McCann, who this will be his first appearance of the year. He came in at 10-5 with a 3.32. For the Red Sox, they have Earl Johnson, who was 12-11 with a 2.97 ERA and 17 starts, and this is his first appearance of the year as well. So it should be a good pitching matchup for fourth and fifth starters. So I will be managing the Athletics. It's kind of fun doing it this way because I can, manage either team I want. And so I have some favorites like the Braves, the Reds, and then, but still I can pick whoever I want. So last game I tried to see if I could get Pittsburgh their first win, and we were able to manage that. So for this game, I will see if we can get Philadelphia their first win. So let's get the game started. So leading off for the Red Sox will be Wally Moses. As you can see, he's hitting .308 with a couple RBIs so far. The right-handed McCann versus the left-handed Moses. And here we go. Now here we go. All right, so that's a 4-5 for a lefty, and that's going to be hit out to left field. Barney Mccoskey is patrolling out there, and he will put it away for the first out of the game. So Wally Moses a little late on a fastball, lines it to Mccoskey in left for out number 1. That brings up Johnny Pesky, who has a pole named after him in Boston. He's hitting .474 with a couple RBIs and a double so far. He is a left-handed hitter as well versus the right-handed McCann. And that's a 5-8, and that's going to be a solid single. As we rolled a 10 on the 20-sided die. 1 or 2 would have been a double, but that's a hard liner to right field. 2 hops to Binks out there, and that'll be a base hit for Johnny Pesky as he continues his hot ways. And he is a star, so we will hold him on. McCann holds at a -1. Guerra, who is catching today for the Athletics, has a 0 arm, and that'll bring Dom Dimaggio, brother to Joe Dimaggio. He's hitting .529, 8 RBIs, 4 doubles. So he is off to a fantastic start. And they're not going to do anything except let Dimaggio hit away. Righty versus righty this time. That's a 2-8, and that's going to be a solid single to center field. Chapman has a -2 arm out there. And so they're going to hold Dale Baker, the third base coach, will hold Pesky at second. So the Red Sox get 2 on with an out here. Pesky runs at a 15 out at second, and I'm going to do the runners today if I can remember. So that brings Ted Williams to the plate. He is hitting .375, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. So he is being his normal Ted Williams self. Here is the pitch from McCann. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. Let's see if Pesky tries to tag up on Binks, who has a -2 arm. And they're going to hold him at second base, so deep fly ball by Williams. But Binks out in right field puts it away for out number 2. So Bobby Doerr, who's hitting .400. As you can see, most of the Red Sox are doing very well. Thus the 3-1 record. He is not a clutch hitter. His 3-2 and 2-7 dropped to a pop out. He did have 95 RBIs in real life, though. That's a 1-8. That's going to be hit hard right back to the box. McCann, with the quick reflexes, will stab it and throw on to Ferris Fane to end the inning. So the Red Sox threaten in the top of the first. No runs, a couple hits, no errors, 2 runners left. We go to the home half. Boston nothing. Philadelphia coming to bat. So again, Earl Johnson was 12-11. He had 8 saves. .297 ERA. He'll start off with Mccoskey. Earl Johnson is a lefty. He is even when it comes to lefty-righty splits. Mccoskey is even as well, so he's a left-handed hitter. He's hitting .294 with an RBI so far. Playing left field for the Athletics today. That's a 3-4, and that's going to be grounded down to first base. Jones fields it cleanly on 1 hop and takes it to the bag himself for out number 1. Eddie Juiced, shortstop. He's hitting .250. He has 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. He hit 13 home runs in the real-life campaign, so he's ahead of himself already. Right-handed batter versus the left-handed Johnson. That's a 3-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. Juice struck out 110 times, but walked 114. Both of those are kind of unusual. But that's a pitch on the outside corner. Nice pitch. Juice will go back to the dugout. Ejected. So 2 out. And that brings George Binks, to the plate. This will be his first start of the year. He does have a couple pinch hit opportunities, and he has 1 walk for those efforts. Again, another lefty versus the lefty Johnson. And that's a 110, and that's a ballpark single check, which is Scheib is unusual. 1-17 lefty singles. 1-2, but for righties, it's 1-16 home runs. Only 1 for home runs for lefties. So interesting configuration, but that's going to be a single as we rolled a 13, and Binks is a lefty. So that's a single up the middle. 2-out single for George Binks. He gets his first base hit of 1947. And he can steal. Johnson holds at a -3. Bertie Tebbetts, the catcher, throws at a -2. There's 2 outs here. Let's see if he can get a lead. He needs a 7. And he did get the lead, so let's see if he makes it. And he gets a 7, and he's in there safe. George Binks will advance into scoring position. And I'm going to try to remember to put him on. Man on second, 2 out for Ferris Fain, who's hitting a .154. So he's off to a slow start. He did have a good year, though, in real life. That's a 1-6, but that's going to be hit hard down to the second baseman, Bobby Dorr. He takes it and throws him out to end the inning. So after 1 complete, we're scoreless. Jake Jones will lead things off here in the top of the second. He's hitting .438, 2 home runs, 5 RBI. So all these Red Sox are off to a good start offensively. That's a 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. That's the second time he's struck out this year. Swing and a miss on a up and in fastball. First strikeout of the game for McCann. Bertie Tebbetts will take his place in the right-handed batter's box. He's hitting .313, couple RBIs. That's a 6-8, and that's going to be trouble. Got a 3 on the 20-sided die. So that's a line drive into the left center field gap, and nobody's going to get to that one as it bounces to the wall. Chapman fires it in, and Bertie Tebbetts, who runs at an 8, is able to go into second standing. So that'll put Bertie Tebbetts on second base. And again, he runs at an 8. Merle Combs playing third base today. He's hitting .364, 3 RBIs and 11 at-bats. Left-handed batter, again, versus the right-handed McCann. That's a 4-9, and he needs a 1 to get a single, but he only gets a 3. So 4-9, that's a grounder to short. Eddie Juiced over there will field it. On 1 hop, goes on to Fain, and Tebbetts will have to hold at second base, as it's hit right in front of him and hard enough. So that brings up the pitcher Earl Johnson, who is a 5W, so he has some hitting ability. Left-handed batter, as well as a left-handed thrower. That's a 6-9. He's a lefty, so that's going to be grounded down to first base. There's Fain, fields it, and he will trot to the bag for out number 3. So the Red Sox have left on their third runner of the game, and we go to the bottom of the second, no score. Five, 6, and 7 will be up for the Athletics. Sam Chapman, center fielder, is hitting .133 so far with just an RBI. He does have a triple. Right-handed batter. And that's a 6-7 versus the righty, and he's going to draw a walk. It's his second walk of the year. First one given up today by Earl Johnson. Chapman is out on a 10 and gets a lead on a 7, so they're not holding him on. Mark Guerrera will get his first plate appearance of the year. So he is a B bunter. The corners are in for the Red Sox. We're going to let him hit away. He's not a great hitter, but we'll see what he can do. That's a 1-9, and that's bounced back to the pitcher. He throws to second, and Chapman takes out Bobby Dorr. Dorr not able to get a good throw on to first, and Guerrero hustling down the line will get in safely. So 1-4. Guerrero hits into fielder's choice, and he runs out 11, which is not bad for a catcher. It brings Pete Suter, second baseman, up. He is 0 for 14, so he's looking for his first base hit of the year. He does have a walk. He is 4 better against lefties, so hopefully he'll get his hit today. 2-8, and he does. There's a drive to right field as he goes the opposite way. And that's hit down the right field line over the head of Jones. Bounces into the corner. Guerrero would be safe on a 1-12. And I want that run, so I'm going to send the lead runner. The trail runner has a 1-9, and I'm going to send the trailing runner. So let's see, they're not going to cut it off. They're going to try to get Guerrero at the plate, and here's the throw, and it's a 7, and he slides in safely. Suter will make it to third on the throw, and the Athletics take a 1-0 lead. Moses has a 0 arm out there. Suter with a double, an RBI, and he ends up at third. So that'll put runner on third, 1 out for Hank Mccoskey, the third baseman, who's hitting .333 and 12 at bats. He has a double and an RBI. Looks like the Red Sox are going to play the infield back, conceding the run, not wanting a big inning here. So hopefully Mccoskey can put some contact on the ball and at least get Suter in from third. That's a 5-5, and he proceeds to strike out. So that hurts. That's the second time he struck out. Second strikeout of the day for Johnson. That one could come back to haunt us. So it's up to McCann, the pitcher. He's a 2W. Here's Johnson looking to get out of this with just the 1 run. That's a 3-5, and that's hit hard, but right at the shortstop, Pesky. He will set and throw, and that'll do it for the Athletics. So Hank Mccoskey not able to put the ball into play. Cost the Athletics a run, but we do get one. On 1 base hit, no error, 1 runner left. After 2 innings, it's 1-0 Philadelphia Athletics. Bill McCann on for his 3rd inning of work has held the Red Sox scoreless, even though they have threatened both innings so far. Wally Moses, the leadoff hitter, will start off here in the 3rd. He flew out to left field in his first at bat. That's a 4-8, and that's going to be a walk. So walk number 1 given up by McCann today. He is a 2. He gets a lead, but he's not a star. So we're going to bring the infield or the corners in with Pesky, who's a B bunter. Moses runs at a 15. He'll probably try to get a lead. And actually, he doesn't, oddly enough. And they're going to let Pesky hit away. So Pesky singled his first at bat. So the corner's in. Pesky not sacrificing. Gets a 3-8, but that's hit hard at the right at second base. Suter, he'll shovel it on to Juiced. Makes a nice throw to Fain. Taylor made 4-6-3 double play. So that'll bring Dom Dimaggio to the plate. Nobody on and 2 out. He singled in his first at bat to increase his average to .556 so far. So again, the Red Sox not hurting for offense so far this year. That's a 3-9, and that's hit hard to shortstop. So they're hitting the ball hard, but right at Juice this time. A little bit up the middle. He'll kind of turn and throw on to Fain to end the inning. So for the first inning, the Red Sox don't leave anybody on. We go to the home half of the third. Philadelphia up by 1. So Philadelphia will have their top of the lineup going here in the third. Mccoskey grounded out to first base, his first at bat. And that's a 6-12, which will be a X chance for Jones at the first, and probably a injury chance for Johnson. We'll see. 14, so he gets to it. 13, and he just misses an error. So Jones makes the play. He flips to Johnson covering. And Johnson is indeed hurt on the play. So it looks like he may have twisted his ankle coming across the bag, trying to avoid Mccoskey, and he will be out this game and 2 games in addition. So we'll see who the Red Sox manager brings in. Joe Cronin will bring in Fritz Dorisch. So I do a yellow or a red line for injuries. So Earl Johnson for Boston American League is out for 2 games. Again, they bring in Dorisch. Fritz Dorisch is yet to pitch this year, so gets his first crack at the bigs here in Saturday, April the 19th. Right-handed batter, so Dorisch in real life was 7-8 with 3 saves, a 4.70 ERA. So he gets to face Eddie Juiced with 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third to start his 1947 season. And that's a 6-5, and that's going to be a fly out to center field. Dimaggio, who is a 1 out there, will chase it down. Route number 1 or route number 2. That brings up George Banks. He singled and collected his first stolen base of the year. That was stranded at second base. Ferris Fain couldn't drive him in the first. So 2 out, nobody on. And that's a 6-9, and that's going to be hit down to the second baseman, Bobby Doerr, who is a 1 as well. He fields that in the hole and pivots and turns and throws him out. So after 3 complete, 1-0 Philadelphia Athletics. Bill McCann will focus his attention on Ted Williams here in the top of the 4th. Williams hit a deep fly ball to right field that Binks was able to chase down. Again, Ted Williams hitting at .353. He's got 4 extra base hits already. He had his first home run in yesterday's game. That's a 1-8, and that is, ooh, good thing that he's a left-handed hitter, because that would have been a bomb, but as it is, it's going to be a deep fly to Binks once again. Again, Shibe Park not favorable to left-handed power hitters. And that's 1 away as Binks puts it away at the warning track. Bobby Doerr is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher, leaving 2 runners on back in the first. That's a 5-5, and that's hit down to the shortstop, Eddie Juiced. A little bit to his glove side, and he will field it, throw him out number 2. Jake Jones. He struck out in his first at bat of the day. 2 out, nobody on here in the 4th. That's a 4-7, and that's another ground ball to shortstop, this time right at Juiced. It'll be a worm burner. gets a decent hop and throws on to Fain to end the inning. One, two, three go the Red Sox in the fourth. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Still 1-0 Philadelphia Athletics. Ferris Fain will start off. We got 4, 5, and 6 for the Athletics. Fain grounded out to end the first. Again, just hitting 143. He hit 291 in the real life season. That's a 3-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Dorish gets his first strikeout of the game. Fain was fooled on that one. Appeared to be expecting something else, as he didn't even offer at it. But it was strike 3 nonetheless. So Sam Chapman, who walked and was erased on the fielder's choice. That's a 2-7, and that's a solid single. He hits that right up the middle. Hit number 3 for the Athletics. He is being held on. Dorish holds at a +3, not nearly as good as Johnson was. Chapman runs at a 14. We'll let Guerrero go ahead and hit away here, as Chapman is out automatically on a 10 trying to steal. That's a 4-11, and that's a singles check. Unfortunately, at Shy Park, it's not a singles friendly. If it's a home run check, he would have been in business. So that's a 4-11. We needed a 2 to get a single, and he rolled a 3 on the 20. So that's going to be popped straight up. Johnny Pesky will catch it for out number 2. So Pete Suter, he doubled in the only run of the game so far, and that was his first double of the year. Actually, his first extra base hit. We might see if Chapman can get a. We'll see if he can get a lead here with 2 outs. And he doesn't get a lead, so he will hold out there. So Pete Suter will swing away. That's a 5-2. That's a first base X. Jake Jones is a 316. We get a 13, so he gets to it, but he rolls a 15. Oh, just misses an error there. So Jones, with a good defensive play, will take it to the bag himself. And that will close out the Philadelphia fourth. No runs a hit. They leave 1 runner on. We've played 4 complete here at Shy Park. 1-0 Athletics. Sorry about the first couple innings there. It looks like my stand was, the camera stand was up against the table, so it may have been a little rocky at the beginning. I moved it away a little bit. All right, Birdie Tebbets, he doubled, which is his 3rd double of the year. He will lead off here versus McCann. 3 hits apiece so far for each team, but Philadelphia with the lone run. That's a 6-5. That's a shortstop X. Eddie Juiced is a 2, but a 40, so he's decent range, but he does have some error issues. So 10, he gets to it. He gets a 15, and that's going to be a 1-base error. So Juiced, on a slow ground ball, he's charging it, and he drops it. So that's just going to be a fielding error. First error of the game. Hopefully not a costly one for the Athletics, trying to pick up their first win of 1947. So Tebbets runs at an 8. He's out trying to steal on an 8-11, so we're not going to play Fain behind him. And I don't think they're going to bunt for the pitcher, so we'll see what Merle Combs does, and they're going to let him hit away. He grounded out to short in his first at bat. That's a 5-7, and that's a hard grounder down to Pete Suter. He twists and fires onto Juice. Tebbett's coming in hard, but not able to get there in time as Juice throws out Combs for another double play. It's the second 4-6-3 today for the Philadelphia Athletics. So that'll bring Dorish to the plate. Let's see, he is a 2W. So we need a different pitcher's card for him. Put him in the book, and he was in for an injury, so I will mark that off with red. So F. Dorish, the pitcher. And he is a right-handed batter. So they're going to let him hit here early in the game, trying to let him have some innings. That's a 6-9, and that's hit down to the third baseman, Mccoskey. Routine play as he throws on to Fain to end the inning. So the Red Sox go in order in essence. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Philadelphia 1, Boston nothing. So Fritz Dorish has pitched pretty good in the 2 innings he's worked so far. He's got 8, 9, and 1. So Hank Mccoskey is hitting .308. Struck out his last at bat, however. That's a 4-11, and that's a single check. But as we have learned for righties, that's a tough business as he needs a 2, but got a 6. And that's going to be an easy fly out to Williams. I believe that will be Ted Williams' first defensive try of the day, and he makes it for out number 1. Bill McCann, 2-hitter. Grounded out to third in his first at bat. That's a 3-7, and that's a ground ball to second base, Bobby Doerr. McCann late on a fastball, as a 2W pitcher is prone to do. Route number 2. Barney Mccoskey, he's grounded out to first twice now. Still hitting .263. He gets a 2-7, and that's a fly out to center field. Dimaggio will play it to the left center field alley, but he will get there as he can cover a lot of ground, being a 1-range outfielder. And that will do it. So shaping into a pitcher's duel here. We've played 5 complete. 1-0 Philadelphia. Bill McCann will start off with the top of the Red Sox order. Wally Moses has walked in 2 at-bats. He has 4 walks so far. That's a 5-11, and for lefties, it is single friendly, so he will get a single on the ballpark here. As he gets an 8 on the 20, needs a 17. Again, Shibe Park, very interesting in its distribution of singles and homers. Wally Moses leads off here, 4th hit of the game for Boston. He is a 2. But he doesn't have the star. So last time Pesky was in this situation, they let him hit away. So I'm going to play back, and I'm not going to hold Moses. He tries to get the lead. Actually, they're going to try the hit and run. Pesky misses the pitch. 1-5. He is he's safe. And he gets a 14. And so the hit and run backfires as Pesky not able to make contact. Moses gunned down 2-6. The Red Sox do us a favor. So Pesky will Have to face Joe Cronin when he gets back to the dugout. 6-7, and that's a second base X. Suter's a 311, so not great range, but decent error prevention. He gets a 5, so he just got to that one, as a 4 would have been a single. But then he proceeds to get a 17 and commits the error. So I need to quit saying these things. So that's hit right at Suter, but he boots it. And the Red Sox will get their second runner of the inning. Second error committed by Philadelphia today. The first one didn't hurt him. Hopefully this one will not either. So Pesky is worthy of being held on first base. So Fain will hold him there. Dom Dimaggio is 1 for 3. Pesky runs at a 15. So, and he's trying to steal 1-12. We're going to try to throw for that one. And that's a 5, so he's in safe. That puts the tying run at second base. Dom Dimaggio, so got some pretty powerful hitters coming up for McCann with a runner in scoring position. Dimaggio's 1 for 2 today. And that's a 5-6, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base. Mccoskey will get to it. Wait a minute, I was looking. What am I looking at? No, I was looking at. Okay, so a 5-6 is a fly out to left field. So Mccoskey will put it away for out number 2. You got Ted Williams. McCann is actually one better versus lefties. But Williams, obviously Ted Williams, but you don't want to put another runner on for Bobby Dorr. We had 17. This is a tough one. Dorr is not a clutch hitter. I think we're going to put Williams on. This will be his second walk of the year. He had 162 to lead the major leagues. This is kind of a risky proposition, but we'll see if it works. So we'll put Ted Williams on first and take our chances with Bobby Dorr. I'd say a lot of those 162 walks were intentional, probably quite a few unintentional for Ted Williams. But here's Bobby Dorr again. He had a 258, 17 homers, 95 RBIs. He's no slouch, but let's see if the hunch pays off. So Bobby Dorr, he's 0 for 2, grounded out twice so far today. And that's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball to short. And Juiced will field it over to first, and that will do it. So strategy paid off that time. You gotta love this game. Things like that are so much fun. So no runs, 1 base hit, 1 error. They left 2 runners on. You go to the bottom of the 6th, still a 1-0 game. So 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Philadelphia Athletics. Eddie Juiced is 0 for 2. He was the first batter that Dorr faced back in the 3rd. And that's a 3-8. And that's a fly out to left field. Ted Williams will get his second chance of the afternoon. And he will get to it for out number 1. George Binks, again getting his first start today, is singled, stole a base, grounded to second base. He gets a 5-8, and that's trouble. Not good at all for Dorish. Bink gets a 20 on the. So that's a deep fly ball to center field. Dimaggio, who has great range, won't get to that one. It actually bounces off the wall. George Binks, who runs it at 12. Will get into second base easily for his first double of the year. So Pink's taking advantage of his opportunity today as he is 2 for 3. He's on second base. Athletics would like to pick up this run, this insurance run. So that's Ferris Fain, who is grounded out and struck out today. He gets a 3-8, and that's going to be a walk. So nice patience by Fain as he picks up his 5th free pass of the year. It does set up the force play for the Red Sox, however. Sam Chapman, who is just hitting 188. He has walked and singled today, however. Big at bat here for the Athletics, trying to again pick up their first win of 1947. That's a 5-10, and that's a single check. And as we have already discovered, Shy Park is tough on righties when it comes to singles. So that's a fly ball out to left field. Ted Williams will put it away for out number 2. So it's up to Mike Guerrera, again getting his first start today as well. He's 0 for 2, however. Clutch opportunity, and he actually is a decent clutch hitter as his 2-7 turns into a single. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be another walk. So Dorish having a little difficulty here in the 6th, loads the bases. For Pete Suter, who has a double and an RBI already. Again today, the only run of the game so far, as he doubled in Mike Guerrera back in the 2nd inning. So bases loaded. Suter is pretty even when it comes to clutch hitting. His 2-2 turns to a pop out. The bases are jammed full of Athletics. There's 2 outs, righty versus righty. So Doris looks into the sign for Tebbetts. Suter looking here to be the hero. Gets a 4-5, and that's a shortstop X. Pesky is a 219. So we'll see if he can make the important play. So, he rolls a 1, so he's not going to be able to get to it. And he gets a 9, so there's no error. So Pesky can't reach it, but it's just a 1-star, so everybody advances 1. So we'll call that an infield single to make it a bit more realistic. And the Athletics pick up that important 2nd run. And Suter with his 2nd RBI of the day is looking to pick up that star of the game steakhouse gift certificate. So Hank Mccoskey with an opportunity to do further damage here. They're going to hang with Dorish. Mccoskey is 0 for 2. And that's a 1-4. And that's a walk. So Dorish having all kinds of trouble here in the 6th. As Mccoskey picks up his 2nd RBI. Or the year, rather. The bases remain loaded. 3-0 Athletics. So it's McCann. So Joe Cronin's going to hang with Doris, trying to get this last out. McCann hits it a 2, so it's a good chance Doris will get out of it without any further damage. That's a 6-4. That's a center field X. Dimaggio is a 112, so he will get to it. We'll see if he can field it cleanly. So he gets a 6 and rolls a 5. So that's a rare play. Sometimes they're rare. We'll see what happens. It's hit out to Dimaggio. Driven to center. He's on his horse and makes a nice running catch. So that's not very rare for Dimaggio, but that will do it for the Athletics. But they pick up 2 runs on 2 base hits. There were no errors. They left the bases loaded. Go to the top of the 7th. The Athletics up 3-0. So McCann given a 3-run lead here, seeing if he can hold it. 3 innings left. Top of the 7th, Jake Jones will start off. He's 0 for 2. Still hitting .389, 2 home runs and 5 RBIs for the year. That's a 4-2, and that's going to be a walk. So that's not how you want to start off when you get a 3-run lead. But that's how he starts off nonetheless. So Jake Jones, not a great big threat to steal, so we're going to play behind him. Birdie Tebbets hit his 3rd double back in the 2nd inning. They're going to let him hit away. It's a 2-8, and that's needs a 7 for a single, and he got a 5. So 2-8. So Birdie Tebbets with the seeing eye single. Just barely gets that one. Barely gets that one past Juiced at short. And the Red Sox get the first 2 runners on here in the 7th. So that brings up Merle Combs. Runners on 1st and 2nd. Combs is grounded out twice, once into a double play. I'm sure McCann would like another one of those right here. Jones at 2nd runs at a 12. Tebbets runs at an 8. So they're not going to pinch a run for Tebbets. And that's a 6-7, and that's a second base X. Suter is a 3-11, so he needs a 15 to get a double play with no error. And he gets a 19, so if he doesn't make an error, he's in business. And that's a 9-13, and he makes a fine play. So Suter in the hole, turns and throws on to Juiced. Over to Fain. Another 4-6-3 double play, and couldn't come at a better time. So Jones will make it to 3rd. And that's the 2nd time today that Merle Combs has hit into a 4-6-3 double play. The 3rd time the Sox have. Nice defensive play by Suter there. So that'll bring Forrest to the plate. They got Jones over at 3rd. We'll see if they let him hit away or not. And they are, oddly enough. So this will be Forrest's 2nd at bat. Interesting strategy here by Joe Cronin. 6-5, and that's a shortstop X. Juiced is a 240. Again, he is a bit error prone. So he gets a 4, so he gets to it. Gets a 14 and just misses an error there. So nice play by Juiced as he fields that one in the hole. Long throw across and just barely gets Dorish. So no runs, a hit, no errors, 1 runner left. 7th inning stretch time here in Philadelphia. 3-0 Philadelphia Athletics. So we got our trivia question. Which fielder does the abbreviation SS represent? Now that's a hard one there. They usually are better questions than that one, but I'm going to go with shortstop. Guess they wanted to give us a grapefruit on that one. All right, so we go to the home half of the 7th. Barney Mccoskey, the leadoff hitter, will lead off here once again. He is 0 for 3 today. Dorish still in on the mound for the Red Sox. That's a 6-12, and that might take him out, because that's a second base X. Door is a 117, so he will get to the ball. It's a 12. 11, so a nice play by Bobby Dorr. Out number 1. Let's see if that's going to be Dorish's. He gets an injury on that one. He is injured on the play, but shakes it off and continue in the game. So it did not go the way of Johnson. So Eddie Juiced, 0 for 3 today as well. Gets a 5-7, and that's going to be a walk. So walk number 4. Doris has been a bit wild. Juiced is being held on first. He's not the greatest base stealer that has ever lived. Go ahead and let Binks hit away. Binks having a fine day, 2 for 3. His first double. Again, taking advantage of his first start of the year. That's a 4-7, and that's a ground ball to first base. Jones will get juiced going to second. But Pesky will hang on to it as it was kind of slow, and Binks hustling down the line will get in there, and Pesky will not risk the throw. So juiced out 3-6. Binks on with the fielder's choice. So Ferris Fane, he has walked and scored. That's a 4-2 versus the lefty, and that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 2 for Dorish will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left. 7 complete here in Philadelphia. The Athletics up 3-0. McCann headed out for his 8th inning of work. His 8 is his fatigue number. He has the top of the order in Wally Moses, who is singled and walked. However, he was caught stealing back in the 6th, which could be a costly caught stealing. That's a 5-5, and that's a ground ball hit hard, but right at the second baseman, Suter. Suter takes his time and throws on to Fane for out number 1. Johnny Pesky. He does have a stolen base, which was his 2nd of the season. After reaching base on an error by Suter. He also has a single and hit into a double play. It's a 5-5, and that's another ground ball to second base. Suter will get his 2nd assist of the inning, and quickly, Red Sox have 2 outs. Dom DiMaggio, 1 for 3. So both teams have collected 5 hits. The Athletics have 2 errors, but of course are leading 3-0. That's a 4-9, and that needs a 16 for a hit, and he gets a 5. So he will indeed get a single. He hits it back up the middle, so he continues to keep his average over 500 as he's 2 for 4 today. That brings Ted Williams up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. We are going to hold on to Maggio. Let's see, they're going to let Williams hit away. Again, he walked his last at bat. Ted Williams, of course, a threat here. He gets a 3-8, and he's going to draw a walk. So 2 walks in a row. That puts the tying run at the plate. Bobby Doerr looking for redemption as Williams was intentionally walked to face Doerr, and Doerr ended up grounding out to shortstop. So looking to redeem himself here. 2 outs. Maggio runs at a 16. Williams runs at a 13, so pretty good speed on the bases for the Red Sox. Bobby Doerr is grounded out 3 times. That's a 6-9, and he proceeds to ground to third once again. Mccoskey will have no problems, and he will actually throw to Suter at second, going the short way to end the inning. So Bobby Doerr leaving a lot of opportunities on the bases. So no runs, a hit, no errors, 2 runners left on, and we go to the home half of the 8th. Still 3-0 Philadelphia. So Fritz Dorish looks like he will try to finish up the game here for the Red Sox. He starts out with Sam Chapman, who is 1 for 2 with a walk. That's a 6-2, and that's going to be a ground ball down to third base. Earl Combs fields it, throws him out for out number 1. Mike Guerrera has walked in 3 plate appearances. Again, getting his first start at catcher for the Athletics here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. And that's a 4-10, and that's a strikeout. So strikeout number 3 for Dorish. That's a check swing, and they appeal, and the first base umpire rings him up. Guerrero doesn't agree, but he will head back to the dugout nonetheless. So Pete Suter has had a fine day. He's 2 for 3 with a double, a couple RBIs. He has done the majority of the damage for the Athletics in today's contest. That's a 1-9, and that's going to be a fly ball the opposite way. So Doris with an outside curveball. Suter goes with it, but he will drive it right to Moses, and that will do it for the Athletics in the 8th. So last chance here for the Red Sox. We go to the top of the 9th. 3-0 Athletics. Bill McCann looking for a shutout. Again, he had a pretty decent year. Again, 10-5 with a 3.32 ERA. 10-5 is a good record for this athletic club. Again, they were 78-76, so they did have a winning record, which was rare for them in this time frame, in this time in their history. So Jake Jones will lead off here in the top of the 9th. He has walked in 3 at-bats. McCann looking for the shutout. That's a 2-5, and he starts off with a walk. So again, with a 3-run lead, walking is not what you want. And that's the 5th walk he's issued today, so he has been a bit wild. He's been able to get out of it so far. Let's see if he can do it again here in the 9th. Jake Jones is not a great threat to steal, so we'll play behind him. Bertie Tebbetts is 2 for 3 with a double. And they're going to let Tebbetts hit away. Again, a pretty decent hitting catcher. That's a 4-5, and that's a fly ball the opposite way. So McCann with an outside fastball. Tebbetts will go with it, hit it out to Binks for out number 1. That all-important first out of the inning. Merle Combs. Let's see if Joe Cronin hangs with him or not. He does. He has hit into 3 ground balls, 2 of them 4.63 double plays. So his most stellar day. That's a 3-8, and he's going to draw a walk. So that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Not what McCann is wanting to do. And he is tired, so may do it for him. Let's investigate here and see what the Athletics. They usually look at Sports Reference to kind of, you can see how they use their bullpen really good there. So, kind of help me make an informed, intelligent decision. So their main reliever looks to be Russ Christopher. He actually was pretty good. Let's see if he's available. And he is. So we will bring in Russ Christopher. He has yet to pitch this year. So that'll be it for McCann. So those 2 runners on base are his. Still a fine start against this hard-hitting Boston club. So Russ Christopher will get his first start of the year. Both of the Red Sox runners run at a 12, so we'll see who Joe Cronin goes with. he brings on Leon Culbertson. So Leon Culbertson has yet to hit this year. This will be his first crack. So that's it. So you got Russ Christopher. He had 12 saves with a 10-7 ERA or a 10-7 record, 290, 12 saves. That's a lot for 1947. Connie Mack doing some relief pitching. And then that will bring in the right-handed hitting Leo Culbertson. So again, Culbertson, this will be his first at bat. This will be Christopher's first pitch. So both these guys getting their first crack at 1947. And here's the pitch. That's a 6-8, and against the righty, that's a strikeout. So Christopher wins the battle of newbies right down the pike. Strike three looking. Christopher was crossed up. Culbertson on that one. He must have been looking for something else as he heads back to the dugout dejected. So 2 out. It's up to Wally Moses. Christopher is much better against righties, and Moses hits much better against righties, so his balance is a +12, so that bodes well for him. So far, he's 1 for 3 today. Did have that costly caught stealing back in the 6th. That's a 5-7, and that's trouble. It's going to be a 2-star single. So there goes the shutout. So Moses pulls one in between Suter and Fain. Jones will score easily. Combs will make it to third. And it is 3-1. The heart of the Red Sox lineup coming up. So Christopher has his work. You probably want Pesky here. Of course, Pesky hit .324. So Moses runs at a 15. We're going to hold him on over at first. See if Joe Cronin lives dangerously. So you got runners on the corner. Christopher looking into Pesky. Pesky is 1 for 3 today. 1 for 4 rather. And they're going to let him hit away. So here we go. Big at bat here. Into the game. That's a 3-9. And that's a ground ball down to short. Eddie Juiced will field it. And he goes on to Fain, and that's the game. So nice job by Christopher as he picks up the save. So let's look at the box score here real quick. So 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Athletics, 1-7-0 for the Red Sox. McCann gets the win to go 1-0 as he pitched a fine game, even with the 6 walks. Johnson takes the loss, even though he pitched 2 1/3 because he gave up that 1 run. Christopher with his first save of the year. Pete Suter, the hitting star, he was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Binks added 2 hits, and Moses, Dimaggio, and Tebbets all had 2 hits apiece for the losers. So the Red Sox dropped to 3-2. The Athletics pick up their first win of the year to go 1-4 as the replay gamer, manager extraordinaire, manages to get another winless team their win, first win of the year. So there you have it from Shibe Park. So as you can see, I'm really enjoying this 1947 replay. It's interesting. Even though I've wanted to do every game, every team replay, I've never tried it just because it seems so daunting. And so I'm sure that I'll need some breaks and, do some other things. But right now I'm looking forward to getting into it. It's a little different than doing a one team, because sometimes you just have one team. It can get a little stale. So this is almost like having multiple replays in the same replay, if that makes any sense, because every game is completely different teams, different storylines. and so it's keeping my interest. But again, it is a huge project. I think there's well over 1,000 games. But at any rate, hope you enjoyed that. I know I did, and I will see you next time.